There comes a point in many men's lives when they realize that not every gift is simply a gift. When a woman gives a man something, most men automatically assume the meaning is obvious. She thought of you, she wanted to make you happy, she saw something and thought you'd like it. And sometimes that's exactly what happened. But sometimes a gift carries an emotional meaning that goes much deeper than the object itself. Because people don't only give gifts, they also give expectations. And this is something many men don't think about until much later. A woman can give you something inexpensive, and it can mean more than an expensive present. A simple object can communicate affection, appreciation, attraction, or gratitude. But sometimes, depending on the relationship, a gift can also create an obligation that you never agreed to. And that's why there are certain gifts a man should think very carefully about accepting. Not because every woman has a hidden agenda, not because men should become suspicious of every kind gesture. The real issue is understanding what comes with the gift, because sometimes the object isn't the important part. The expectation attached to it is. The first gift a man should be careful about accepting is an extremely expensive gift that doesn't match the relationship. Imagine a woman you've only known for a short time suddenly gives you an expensive watch, expensive jewelry, or something that costs far more than you would normally expect. At first, it can feel flattering. You think, she must really like me. She thinks I'm special. And maybe she does. But ask yourself something. Why is she giving you something this valuable? Because when a gift is much larger than the relationship itself, it can create an imbalance. You didn't ask for it, you weren't expecting it, but now you may feel like you owe something in return. More attention, more time, more commitment, or simply the feeling that you can't disappoint her after she has done something so generous. And this is where accepting an expensive gift without thinking can become complicated, because the price of a gift isn't always measured in money. Sometimes the real price is emotional. A healthy gift should make you feel appreciated. It shouldn't make you feel trapped. The second gift men should be careful about accepting is a gift that comes with conditions. This one can be much more subtle. A woman gives you something and says, I bought this because I thought you'd look better wearing it. Or I got this because I want you to start doing this with me. At first, it sounds thoughtful, but over time, you may notice that the gifts are connected to how she wants you to behave. She buys you clothes because she doesn't like the way you dress. She buys something for your home because she wants your home to look different. She buys something connected to an activity because she wants you to spend more time doing it with her. Again, the object isn't necessarily the problem. The problem is when the gift becomes a way of changing you. There's a big difference between I saw this and thought you'd like it and I bought this because I want you to become different. A healthy relationship allows two people to influence each other naturally, but neither person should have to purchase the other person's identity. And if you notice that a gift comes with an expectation about how you should behave, slow down before accepting it. The third gift a man should think twice about accepting is an expensive gift immediately after a serious argument or betrayal. This is where things can become emotionally complicated. Imagine something serious happens, trust is damaged, you have an argument, you're hurt, and instead of having a difficult conversation about what happened, she suddenly gives you something expensive. Maybe it's a watch, maybe it's something you've wanted for years, maybe she surprises you with an expensive weekend away, and suddenly you feel better. The tension disappears, but the problem hasn't actually disappeared. The gift may have made you feel appreciated again, but it didn't necessarily solve what caused the conflict. And this is why men need to understand something important. A gift can accompany an apology. It should never replace one. If trust was broken, the conversation still needs to happen. If someone hurt you, accountability still matters. And if behavior needs to change, the behavior still needs to change. Otherwise, the same problem can happen again. The fourth gift men should be careful about accepting is money or financial help that creates an emotional debt. This can be one of the most difficult situations because the woman may genuinely be trying to help you. Maybe she pays an expensive bill. Maybe she buys something you couldn't afford. Maybe she gives you money when you're going through a difficult period. And she tells you, you don't have to give me anything back. You appreciate it, you accept it, but later something changes. She becomes angry when you don't do what she wants. She reminds you how much she has done for you. She says, after everything I've done for you. And suddenly, the original gift means something completely different because now it has become leverage. And this is where men need to be careful. Healthy generosity doesn't need to be constantly remembered. If someone gives you something freely, they shouldn't be able to use it months later as proof that you owe them emotional access. You should be able to disagree. You should be able to say no. You should be able to make your own decisions. The moment a gift becomes a bargaining chip, it stops feeling like generosity. It becomes control, and that's a very different thing. The fifth gift is perhaps the most important, and it doesn't have to be expensive at all. It's a gift that crosses a boundary you've already made clear. Maybe she's told you you don't want expensive gifts. She gives you one anyway. Maybe you've said you're uncomfortable accepting money. She insists. Maybe you've told her that you need some space. She sends something to your home to remind you of her. The object may be beautiful, the intention may even appear romantic, but the real question is, did she respect your boundary? Because a gift should never be used to force emotional access. And men sometimes accept these gifts because they don't want to appear ungrateful. They think, she went to all this trouble, I don't want to hurt her feelings, maybe I should just accept it. But accepting something you genuinely don't want simply to avoid disappointing someone can create a bigger problem later, because you're teaching the other person that your boundaries are negotiable, and once that happens, maintaining those boundaries becomes much harder. A mature man should be able to say, "That's very thoughtful, but I don't feel comfortable accepting this." That isn't rude, it isn't rejection, it's simply honesty. And a woman who genuinely respects you should be able to understand that. She may say, "That's okay, I just wanted to do something nice for you," and the matter ends there. That's healthy. But if refusing the gift produces anger, guilt, pressure, or emotional punishment, pay attention, because now you've learned something important. The real issue may never have been the gift. It may have been whether you were willing to comply. And there is something else men should remember. Not every meaningful gift is expensive. Sometimes the most thoughtful gift is something very simple. A woman remembers something you mentioned months ago. She sees something connected to an interest you have. She finds something that reminds her of a conversation you shared. That kind of gift can mean more than something extremely expensive, because the value isn't in the price, it's in the attention. That's the difference between appreciation and obligation. A healthy gift usually feels warm. It doesn't make you nervous. It doesn't make you feel like you owe something. It doesn't require you to become someone else. It doesn't erase a serious problem, and it doesn't get brought up every time there is an argument. Instead, it simply communicates, "I saw this and thought of you." That's a beautiful thing. And men shouldn't become so suspicious that they stop appreciating genuine generosity. The point isn't to reject gifts from women. The point is to understand what you're accepting along with the gift. Because sometimes you're accepting an object, sometimes you're accepting affection, and sometimes you're accepting an expectation you never consciously agreed to. So, when a woman gives you something, don't automatically become suspicious. Pay attention to the context. Is the gift thoughtful or controlling? Is it freely given or attached to an expectation? Does it respect your boundaries? Is it being used to avoid a serious conversation? And perhaps most importantly, does accepting it make you feel valued or obligated? Because there's a huge difference between affection and leverage. One makes you feel appreciated, the other makes you feel indebted, and a mature man needs to know the difference. So I want to ask the men watching this, have you ever received a gift from a woman that later came with an expectation you didn't see coming? Maybe she reminded you about it during an argument. Maybe she expected something from you afterward. Or maybe you accepted something that made you uncomfortable because you felt you couldn't say no. Let me know in the comments, because sometimes the most important lesson isn't learning how to accept a gift, it's learning what you're actually accepting along with it. And if this video gave you a different way of looking at female psychology, attraction, boundaries, and relationships, like the video, subscribe, and share it with another man who might relate. because a gift can be an expression of affection, but when the wrong expectation comes attached to it, the most valuable thing a man can protect isn't the gift, it's his freedom to say yes or no.